Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to the first video of the Summer Professional Development Series hosted by KIPP in collaboration with Accenture. So a really quick introduction about myself here. My name is Sydney, and I am actually a KIPP alumni myself. I graduated from KIPP LA Prep Middle School in Los Angeles way back in 2011, and I am now a full-time management consultant at Accenture based out of the San Francisco office. So I'm really excited to be here today speaking with you all. Thanks for tuning into this pre-recorded session. So our goal with this video really is to equip yourself with as much tactical skills as possible in a short and sweet manner, as we all have really busy lives and time is of the essence in the summer job search process. Before I get into the meat of the content, here is a high-level agenda you should expect throughout this pre-recorded session. We're going to first really ground ourselves with a high-level job search strategy discussion. Following that, I will talk about what we mean by a public job market versus a hidden job market. And in tandem and simultaneously, we will also introduce job search resources that you can utilize and get tactical with in your summer job search. So with that, I'm going to kick it off to the next slide and get started and talk about what we mean by high-level job search strategy. So the summer job search can feel really overwhelming at times because there's so much going on at the same time. Oftentimes, the process feels really daunting due to a variety of reasons. It might be due to information overload in addition to, existential questions you might be struggling with as a college student or working adult, no matter what stage in life you are in. That's why it's really important to adhere to these high-level questions to help make your opportunity search more narrow and focused. And here, we've listed a couple of starter questions to help you get started. You don't have to be able to answer all of these questions in extreme detail, but perusing a couple of these will be helpful in making your search much more targeted. If your summer internship goal is that you want to develop specific skills, then you should get more specific and ask yourself, okay, what skills do you want? Is it Excel modeling? Is it public speaking skills? Is it data analysis, customer service, client-facing skills? As an example, if I decided that I want to develop client-facing and customer service skills, that's answering the very first question here, I might think that a service-oriented job would be most useful and worthwhile for a summer gig. That's what I think would be worthwhile dedicating my too-long summer time to. I can then narrow that idea a little more down to food service jobs. Then ask myself, okay, what places or institutions would have a demand for waiters, waitresses, hosts, cashiers, etc.? And then following that, where would I actually look for these jobs? And some of the other questions we have on this list is, what industry am I interested in? Is it finance? Is it technology? Is it education, the public sector, etc.? What kind of work environment do I want exposure to? What do I see myself doing 10 years from now? Is there a work location I prefer? Is it my home city? Is it a new city? Do I want to get to know Boston more? Would it be awesome to get to know New York more? And lastly, is there a work arrangement I prefer? Is it remote, in-person, hybrid? Think about what works best for you. And once you have these questions answered, you should be able to curate a list of possible employers to start targeting and applying to. And again, there is no right or wrong answer. You might even find it difficult to answer these questions because you're still learning about yourself. You might be interested in social work, but also passionate about technology. Learning about startups in the Bay Area might excite you, but maybe being a full-time university researcher is also interesting. Who knows? We are multifaceted individuals and we have many passions and interests. Many things can be true at once. Now, conversely, you might find that you aren't able to answer some of these at all because you feel that you don't really know yourself yet. The point is, you might not have a perfect answer or even a concrete answer, but thinking about it, jotting it down, and then knowing how to prioritize these answers will take off a significant amount of mental cloud and baggage weighing on your shoulders. So now that we've talked about strategy, let's get tactical and talk about the summer job market and how to actually look for these opportunities. So I'm going to kick off to the next slide here. Let's talk a little bit about the public job market. Now, the reality is that the summer job market is really divided into two sides, two worlds. There's the public job market and the hidden job market. Let's first talk about what the public job market is. These are job postings that are advertised publicly. You can most likely Google it, find it on a job search platform like Indeed.com or directly on the company's page. These job postings are most likely advertised by a respective company's HR department and accessible and viewable by anyone, including yourself, your coworkers, classmates, and other peers. Oftentimes, when we think about looking for summer opportunities or jobs, this is actually the traditional avenue of job search that we imagine. So now that we know what a public job market is, I will now present to you a couple of strategies or resources you can leverage to look for jobs in what we call this public job market. So I'm going to stop sharing really quickly here and switch over to another screen. So bear with me for a second. Okay, great. So you should be able to see the Cal State LA Career Center page at the moment. So an often overlooked resource is turning to your university's career services portal. Universities often have really robust partnerships with recruiters and update job postings internally. And so because of these existing partnerships, I actually encourage you to look through your university's portal first before turning to other online resources and platforms. And as these are job postings through your university, there's actually a much higher chance that your application and resume will be looked at because the application pool is much, much smaller as opposed to submitting your resume on some random website on Google or something. So, it might take some time to familiarize yourself with your university's Career Center portal, but it's really worth taking some time to explore and see what portals they have to promote job postings. So as an example, I'm on Cal State LA's Career Center page. I'm just going to navigate here to internships and jobs, and that will take me to the internships page. And what's important is looking for the online tools and seeing what platform the university maintains for job search, which in this case would be Handshake. Okay, so this is the university resource. That's first on our list. Now, the second strategy you can utilize is, of course, going directly to the website of the company of interest. Now, typically, company websites have a career section under their About Us category. If you aren't able to locate it for any reason, you can simply type in the name of the company of interest along with careers in a Google search, and the first search should take you to the desired page. So if you're interested in a job with Google, I would type in Google careers. If it's with Disneyland, I would type in Disneyland careers in the Google search. So as an example here, let's say I'm interested in a cashier job at Target, or it doesn't have to be a cashier job. It could be a corporate job, any job posting. So I'm on the Target page. Then I would navigate directly under their About Us in their career section. Sometimes it's really hard to find. You might have to patiently explore the page a little bit, but more than likely it's under the About Us section. So I'm going to click on the careers page and you'll see a ton of options pop up. And I would just take some time to explore the page. Put in the filters, desired filters that match up with your priorities in your summer job search, and look through the website. As another example, let's say I want a job at Tesla. I'm on the Tesla website. This is their overall generic website. Then I would go on the menu page and look for the career section. Looks like I don't see a career section, so it's most likely at the bottom of the page again. Again, it's might be difficult to look for in the beginning, but it'll take time. So there you go. I see careers down here. So I would just click on careers. I'm going to pause this video really quickly. And so you can look for a role or a keyword of a summer job of interest and learn about the programs, various programs they offer, right? All right. So as you can see, the career section interface really varies company to company. The best way is to follow their directions. Some companies might have a search function for you to input keywords to look for specific roles in their organization. And they might even have filters available for you to input location and work setup preferences. Some companies might also have an internship or summer section, so make sure you pay attention to those details in your own search. The point is, take some time to explore the career section of your company of interest. Generally, though, a job posting will take you to a separate portal where you can submit your resume and or optional cover letter, which then gets routed to the respective HR department for review. And once you've submitted application materials, it's really important to frequently check your email for job updates in the form of an interview offer or a letter stating that at this time you might not be a good fit. So Let's move on to the final couple of resources you can utilize in looking for these jobs in the so-called public job market. So if you don't have a specific company of interest in mind, you can always make a really generic search in the following online platforms. The big ones that are commonly used are Indeed.com, Monster.com, and Glassdoor. So I have these open up here. I can just click here. Glassdoor, Monster, and Indeed.com, right? And just as this disclaimer, these job search platforms typically require you to make an account and profile where you will also have an opportunity to upload your resume, which, by the way, very quick plug, if you have time and would like resume help, please make sure to tune in to next week's pre-recorded session on how to perfect your resume. But yeah, a good tip when searching on these platforms is to always tag your search with keyword internship or summer, as this is also a platform that full-time professionals use to look for jobs. So adding these keywords will also help narrow your search and keep it more focused. So as an example, if I'm interested in a data analyst role, I might type data analyst, and I want to make sure it's an internship, so I would type internship. I'm going to put Los Angeles here for now. That's my base location. So find jobs, and you'll see a ton of options come up, and you can apply directly through this. Okay, great. So this works about the same for Monster and Glassdoor as well. So these are just additional resources that you can utilize. So great, that concludes our section on public job market. I'm going to transition here back to the PowerPoint slide and talk about the other topics. So we just talked about the public job market. Let's talk a little bit about what the hidden job market is. The hidden job market are job opportunities out there that aren't advertised or posted online. Employers might not post jobs for a number of reasons. They might be trying to save money on advertising, or they might prefer getting candidates through employee referrals. They have their reasons. And this job market might be quote unquote hidden, right? But it is possible for you to find out about these job opportunities. And in fact, you might be more likely to actually score a job through the hidden job market rather than through regular traditional channels that we just reviewed, like applying online. Many jobs are found through networking rather than traditional job searching. So, in fact, I would say this reality is very relevant for you all in your summer job search. As we are in the beginning of the summer, a lot of internship programs might have already concluded their hiring process. So the probability of you finding an open application might be lower compared to last fall, for example, where a lot of official hiring might have kicked off. So it's important now more than ever, therefore, to look for these opportunities through your network. If you do a quick Google search about the hidden job market, you'll actually find some pretty shocking statistics that something around 50 to 60% of internships and full-time opportunities are actually filled through the hidden job market, which mostly includes roles filled by internal referrals and your network. So let's talk a little bit about what we mean by network first, as this is the main strategy in getting into the hidden job market. So networking is nothing but the practice of building relationships with peers, colleagues, or mentors. It's not as daunting as it sounds. Immediately your university alumni and classmates would be your network. The educators, counselors, teachers, classmates, and myself you meet through the KIPP Foundation are also considered your network. And in the future, your coworkers will also eventually be your network. This is the basic concept of what a network is. So with this in mind, we will now talk about two very tactical ways you can use your network or adjacent network to look for these hidden job opportunities. So I'm going to move on to the next slide here. The first is paying a visit to your university's alumni network portal. Universities often maintain a database very similar to the functions of a Facebook or an Instagram where alumni information is maintained. It's a little different. It varies for every school, so I would encourage you to do a quick Google search of your university or alumni database and explore a little to see what you can find. So if I went to Cal State LA, I would just look up Cal State LA career Cal State LA alumni database. If I went to ELAC, East Los Angeles College, I would do the same, right? Pretty standard. And oftentimes you can, as you can see here, oftentimes you can filter for alumni who now work in your company of interest, alumni who had the same major as you during undergrad, or alumni in your city. And these are all common points of interest that you share, which are great conversation starters. The ultimate goal is to find some point of connection between yourself and the alumni to then ultimately set up a coffee chat as an avenue to get to know the alumni a little more. So as an example here, I have an example screenshot here. I'm a Penn alum myself, so I'm showcasing what the alumni database for my alma mater looks like. To the left, you can see a variety of filters to narrow your search down. You can search by class year, school, programs, majors. And to the right are the alumni who fit that criteria, who I have grayed out in this presentation here, just out of respect for their privacy. But this is just an example from my university. Let's move to the next slide. Another portal to look for these connections would be LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, you can type in the company of interest or role of interest directly in the search bar, and the search results will feature current employees who are in that role. And from there, you can send the person of interest a direct message. And this is just an example, a screenshot of my own personal LinkedIn where I have looked up data analyst roles at Tesla, for example. And you'll see a ton of search has shown up here who you can directly reach out to as well. And in these outreach messages, when you identify a person that you want to get to know, you should follow this outline here to structure your thoughts. So first, introduce yourself. It's really up to you on what detail to include, but at minimum, I would mention your name and what university you attend. Follow that with a brief summary of your past and present experiences. This might include any past job experiences you have, current leadership roles you hold in school clubs, etc. But ultimately, you want to be able to answer, what are some relevant experiences or achievements that portray your story? Make sure that section of your message answers that question. And then finally, conclude with a call to action, which in this case would be setting up a 30-minute phone call or a coffee chat with that person to learn about any summer opportunities, internships, or even just learning about their role. It depends on how you want to take this relationship. So an example of an effective message might sound like the following. Hi, I'm Sydney, and I'm a consultant at Accenture. I'm currently developing an application to help manage ethical treatment in factories where we implemented a dashboard to view at-risk facilities and companies. I'm actually looking to grow my skills in data visualization, and I noticed you have spent years as a manager in this field at company, etc. I'd love to chat and learn more about your career path. So this would be an example message that you would send to an alumni you've identified or someone on LinkedIn, right? Of course, if it's an alumni, then you would firstly reach out with the point in common being attending the same university, right? So you can curate your message based on who you're reaching out to. And keep in mind that even though this phone call you're setting up might not lead directly to a summer opportunity, you now have a stronger relationship with this person who you can reach out to again in the future as your career progresses. If you've left an impression on them, they might even reach back out in the future if they know of an open opportunity. So it's definitely a win-win situation. All right. So that's all we have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope the tips presented here today are helpful and tactical and wish you the best in your summer job search journey. Please don't forget to check out next week's session on tips for perfecting your resume. So I'll see you then. Thanks so much for tuning in.